Okay, I am going to share my screen with y'all. So give me just a second. And we will start our slideshow from the beginning. Excellent. So you should know that you are taking part in a webinar for traditional Chinese medicine and essential oils. I would assume you know that that's the spot where you're at tonight. And if not, and this is a surprise, welcome. We wanted to just fill you in a little bit on how tonight is going to roll so you know what to expect. We are going to obviously say welcome to each and every one of you. We are so thankful for you being here tonight and spending some time with us. I had mentioned at the beginning, before we started recording, I am not going to be able to see the chat feature now that I have started sharing my screen. So what I would just recommend is to go ahead and use that chat feature to put your questions in there as we go through, because we are going to have a Q&A at the end, and we'll make sure to go back through those questions that have been posted. We don't want you to forget your questions, so feel free to interact that way with us. We are going to introduce ourselves, and just in case, right now everyone who is on this webinar is experienced in using essential oils, but it might be that you end up sharing this webinar with someone who is not experienced with essential oils. So we want to just do some very brief foundational basics about essential oil use and the science behind them. And then we're going to move into traditional Chinese medicine acupoints and the 5 elements and 5 emotions, and then into the combination of using the premium starter kit oils with acupoints and marry those 2 topics together. We will touch briefly on getting started if you haven't already done that, and then we'll stop sharing our screen and we will move into a Q&A live and then wrap things up. So now you have a pretty good idea of how we're going to roll with this. This webinar will be available by recording for 48 hours after this webinar is over. We will get that information to you tomorrow. So look for an email then. And just so you know, hopefully y'all have printed out your handout for tonight's class. It's a very basic handout, but it's going to help you process the information and kind of keep track of things as we go through. But the great thing is tomorrow, I'm going to send you the PDF of this presentation. And I apologize, I just distracted myself because I realized the one thing I forgot to do was mute each of you. So if you are not already muted, if you could go ahead and mute yourself outside of Ephraim and myself, that would be so, so helpful. And if you need help with that, let us know and we will go ahead and help you do that. All right. So introducing myself, in case you don't know me, my name is Andrea Johansson, and I am a Young Living Platinum Leader. I have been using oils for almost 7 years at this point. It was 7 years this June. I got my very first essential oil, which is right by me, which is Valor. And Valor remains what I call my desert island oil. So if I could only have one oil when I was stranded on a desert island, it would be Valor. So this started my journey and it continues to be my favorite. I had a friend of mine who happened to post something on Facebook about having whatever, because I was completely unfamiliar with essential oils at that time, that would help provide a quieter and more restful night's sleep. And my response to her when I texted back was, give me a gallon of it yesterday because I need my first good night's sleep in over 20 years. And so Valor entered our house and our lives have never been the same. That one oil made such a difference in our lives that the very next month I got our premium starter kit and the journey just went from there. We fell in love. We found so many uses for each and every bottle of oil that came into our home. And they have blessed us in so many ways with our overall health and wellness. And I started sharing my stories and found a bunch of other people saying to me, I need that too. And honestly, fell into the business side of Young Living. And it has been the greatest thing outside of coming to know Jesus and getting married to my incredible husband that I've done in my entire life, because I've been able to be a part of so much life change in so many people's lives. So I'm a wife of nearly 29 years and I have 4 children, the first of whom just got married last Saturday on our front step. So that's a little bit about me. I would like to turn this over to my dear friend Ephraim and have him introduce himself. And I am also going to make him a co-host while he introduces himself. So Ephraim, please.
Okay, hello. Well, my name is Ephraim Brady. I'm from Venezuela. I've been here for 3 years and a half. And this is amazing. This is very interesting for me because I'm a traditional Chinese medicine therapist. And as a part of my studies, when I study traditional Chinese medicine, I study essential oils. When I study about it, I fall in love with the oils. But to be sincere, after I got more into acupuncture and all the other things, and I left the oils in one side. And I think that 2 years ago, Andrea, I met Brian, maybe about 2 years ago. And then I found out that Andrea was into this world, and I start like, it's not rediscovering because I already knew like how the potential of the oils. But even I was remembering today that about 10 years ago, we had something not like the coronavirus, but we had, I don't remember which one of those were. And I remember that in our school of traditional Chinese medicine, we prepared teeth, okay? Because we had the formula. So, and that was amazing, like how it works at that time. And well, uh, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, with Andrea, I started using again the oils. And of course, the connection with the acupoint, that's amazing how it works. So, and here I am, sharing with you the little things that I know.
Thank you so much. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be doing this webinar in partnership with Ephraim. He has one of the kindest hearts of anyone I know and is a wealth of knowledge and an expert in his field. So I'm very excited to be offering this to you this evening in partnership with him. So you guys are going to get to know him a little bit tonight, which is a great thing. I do want to share that although we both have background and knowledge and experience, neither one of us is a medical professional. And so we can't treat, cure, diagnose, or promise prevention of anything. So we are going to focus tonight on what we can do to help support overall health and wellness in every system in our bodies, including our emotions. And so that's where we are going to be discussing things this evening. And obviously, if you have any concerns or questions, work in conjunction with your own personal medical practitioner on things that you would like to address. Now, we are going to cover, as I said, some basics of essential oils because we want to make sure that anyone who is participating in this webinar, either live or in the recorded version, has a basic understanding. And so bear with me. If you have been using oils for years, I know we have someone on here who's been using oils for 20 years, which is way longer than I have been. And she could probably teach circles around me. Just bear with me as we cover a few basics and make sure that everyone has a foundation. Okay, so what are essential oils? Very simply put, they are the lifeblood of plants around us. So whether that comes from leaves or trees or blossoms, bark, roots, any of those kinds of things, they are distilled out of those natural plant substances. And Young Living does a wonderful job of being certain to distill them at low heat, low pressure, in order to preserve the greatest amount of benefits that can be derived from those essential oils. They are distilled, excuse me, through that steam distillation. So just very easily said, they're the lifeblood of a plant. So it's really important when you are going out and choosing your essential oils, what oils you pick, because the world has kind of figured out, oh my goodness, essential oils are wonderful. They are powerful. They have amazing benefits. So, hey, let's sell them. But here's the thing, the federal government only requires between 5 and 10% of an essential oil to be in a bottle to actually be able to label it 100% pure. Now, I don't know about you, but that bothers me. And I want to make sure that the essential oils that I have truly are 100% pure. And so I personally stumbled into Young Living. As I said at the beginning of this, I knew nothing about essential oils. I am so grateful that where I landed was with Young Living. And it's because Young Living owns all of their own farms, or they have corporate partnerships with other farms and or distributors that align with our standards, and they never use any harmful chemicals as they are growing their crops. You know, I've actually visited 2 of our farms. I've been to the one in Mona, Utah, and I have been to the one in St. Mary's, Idaho, and I have been a part of planting our plants into the ground. I've been a part of the harvesting. I have seen our distillation processes. And it's really important that you're able to say things like that, that, hey, maybe you haven't been there, but you can go. And to have that kind of transparency, that you can place your trust and faith in a company like that, because they are overseeing everything from the moment the seeds are chosen to when they are placed in the ground. And one of the things that has always fascinated me from the beginning of learning more about essential oils was the fact that our founder, Gary Young, knew even the very best time of the day in which to harvest our plants to derive the greatest level of potency out of those plants. That tells me something about the care that goes into the essential oils that we get into our homes. They do distill on site. They also test on site and with third-party testing. And hey, guess what? If it doesn't pass our very stringent testing standards, it doesn't come to us as consumers. And I'm grateful for that. I am grateful that this is a company that would rather keep an oil out of stock than provide an oil that is substandard just to get it into their customers' hands. So I would rather wait for the good stuff. And again, all bottles are bottled, or all oils are bottled with care. So how do you use them? There are 3 ways. Aromatically, which includes using your diffuser. It might be smelling it out of the bottle, or putting a drop in your hand and rubbing your hands around, cupping your hands over your nose and mouth and breathing those in. You might wear diffuser jewelry like a necklace or a bracelet, and just breathing those oils in aromatically. Another way, and the way that we're actually very much going to focus on this evening, is topically. And so that is applying the oils to your body, somewhere on your body, either with a carrier oil, which I'll talk about in just a second, or what's called neat, which means, like, I took my bottle of Valor before this class and I applied it directly to my wrists and behind my ears, and that's just applying it neat without something else. Now, carrier oil is something like coconut, olive, grapeseed, sweet almond, jojoba oil, any of those kinds of things. Personally, I'll grab my olive oil out of my cabinet and use that. I will say, though, that Young Living has a phenomenal V6 carrier oil. The 6 is because there are 6 different types of carrier oils all combined together to provide a single carrier oil for us to use. And I always recommend, particularly as you are first starting out with essential oils, that when you apply oils, you do so with a carrier oil, just to make sure that your body is used to it, that it's diluted, that if you have any sensitivities, that carrier oil will help with any kind of discomfort. So, you know, my safety note is, and well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about safety in just a minute, but it will also help with absorption and help with covering a larger area. So there are a lot of benefits to using a carrier oil with your essential oil. Lastly, There are essential oils that are considered, it's called GRAS, generally regarded as safe for internal consumption. And so those are oils that are labeled as dietary supplementation. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more for just a moment. As you see on the screen, you can see 2 bottles of lemon. One has a white label background and the other has a yellow label background. So the white label is our vitality oil variety. Young Living has an entire line of vitality oils. What's a vitality oil? It's an oil that's labeled for dietary supplementation, which means you know that if you feel comfortable taking essential oils internally, those oils in the white bottles are safe to do that with. Whether you put it directly under your tongue sublingually, you put it in your smoothies or your water or your tea or in some agave or yogurt, or you cook with it. There are lots of different ways that you can use the vitality oils as dietary supplementation. Now I always tell people, do your research, see how you feel about it. I feel perfectly comfortable taking Young Living's vitality line oils internally and giving them to everyone in our family. So we do that, but not everyone feels the same. So do your research and see how you feel about it. Now, the other bottle that has the yellow background, that is lemon oil as well. Now, let me clue you into a secret. It's the exact same oil. The oil that's in the vitality bottle is the same oil that's in the essential oil yellow labeled bottle. It's all about how it's labeled. So the yellow label is labeled for topical and aromatic use. And so you know that then you would be applying it or using it aromatically. It's all about how we're required to label the oils according to FDA guidelines. Now, as we go through this presentation, we're going to be talking about topical application of oils. And so you're going to see the darker background oils on each of these slides. However, some of the slides do have the white label oil bottles on them. And what that's an indication to you of is that those oils come as the vitality labeled oils in the premium starter kit. So I just wanted to explain that distinction to you so you were certain to know the difference between those two. Remember I said we were going to talk about safety. So always good, particularly when you are first starting out to use or using essential oils, that you dilute them using that carrier oil. Avoid contact with your eyes and your ears. Oils are not meant to go inside ears or in eyes, okay? You can use the outer part of your ear as a place for topical application, but you don't ever want to put the oils in your ears. And, you know, I can pretty much promise you with somewhat certainty that if not all of us, the majority of us have had oils on our hands. We have not washed in between. We've touched our eyes and we've had some irritation. Very common to have that happen. Whether it's your eyes or somewhere on your skin, what I would recommend if there is any kind of irritation is to grab that carrier oil that you've been using and apply that carrier oil. Please don't flush with water, because the water can cause the oil to be driven in faster and spread out further, because oil and water don't mix, right? So you want to use a carrier oil to help alleviate any kind of discomfort. And then always, always, always follow the directions on your labels. Before we start talking more about the traditional Chinese medicine aspect of our time together this evening, I do want to cover just a little bit of science, because sometimes this can freak people out when we start talking about frequency or energy or vibration. And frequency is simply a measurable rate of electrical energy that's constant between any 2 points. And every living thing has a frequency. So guess what? You have a frequency. I have a frequency. We all have a frequency, and all the living things around us do. A healthy body has a frequency between 62 and 78 megahertz, while disease begins at about 58 megahertz. Okay, so you can see that average body organ frequencies are at different levels. And guess what? Every single one of our essential oils has a frequency associated with it. I learned something new in preparing for this webinar. I always thought that rose had the highest frequency available in our essential oils, but I learned that Idaho blue spruce has an even greater frequency than rose, because rose is about 320 and Idaho blue spruce is tested somewhere between 428 and 500. And guess what? Northern Lights black spruce is even greater than 500. So if you are looking to raise the frequency level in your body in any kind of way, you can use essential oils to work in conjunction with your body to do what it's naturally been created by God to do. How cool is that? So that's all that it is. It's science. It's not religion. So don't get wigged out. I know, honestly, in the beginning, this whole frequency thing, I was like, I'm a faith girl and I am not touching anything with frequency or energies or vibrations or anything like that. That was me. And then I read a book that we'll talk about tonight. This book here is the Chemistry of Essential Oils Made Even Simpler, best book in the entire wide world. And I went, oh, it's science. Got it. Revelation. So please feel very comfortable in what we are sharing tonight, that this is all scientifically based. All right, my friend, I am turning this over to you.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the acupoints. And to start, the first thing that I told Andrea when she told me, I said, well, look, like sometimes just to talk about the acupoints and the energy channels, it can take a weekend. So to do all what I'll try to explain, yes, in such a short time, well, I'll do my best. But what are the acupoints? I have a friend here that will help me to explain a little bit more what are we talking about. As Andrea said, we are all energy, okay? Actually, the the quantum physicists, they say that everything is energy and information, okay? So in our body, we have channels through where the energy flows. And as Andrea said, at first this was kind of strange, of weird. But what these people discover is that the same as the blood flows through our veins and vessels, and the nerves to reach our whole body flows in a very organized way. Also, the energy flows in our body in a very organized ways. And more than that, it's not only organized, but it is attached to the different organs or part of our body. So to make sure that we have the right amount of energy that we need to be healthy. So those are the energy channels that would be all these lines that you see in here, okay? Actually, this is the channel of the bladder that is the longest in our body, okay? So what would be an acupoint? An acupoint are these little dots. Again, you see the lines and can you see them? That they're like little dots. You see the lines? Well, in the lines, there are different little dots. There are the places where we get, where we have access to those channels, okay? So what they have found out in the recent research that they have done is that every acupoint has a specific information. For example, there are some acupoints that we call master points. So we have the master acupoint for bones. So when you stimulate those acupoints, or specifically that acupoint, all the energy that you are using in that acupoint is going to nurture your bones. Okay, so they talk more about nurturing and harmonize our energy. Okay, it's more, we are talking more about regulate the energy. So the same way, there is an acupoint, there is master point of the muscles and tendons, and there is acupoint for everything. Like we have, normally we work with 365 acupoints, but there are some more than that. Okay, so this is what has to be with the acupoints and the energy channels. So the next part, okay, I have it here. Now this is another thing that people use a lot, but sometimes they don't really know what they are talking about. There are the 5 elements, okay? All these things were discovered, like this has more than 5,000 years, okay, going on, like all this information. And the 5 elements is just the way how these guys 5,000 years ago, how they describe the way how, like they saw that the energy in our Earth, in our planet, move in different ways, okay? So they start observing the way, for example, how the energy move in the water and how the energy move in the fire, for example. And they could see, for example, I have here a glass of water, okay? If you see the water, and I have a water in a glass, it takes the shapes of the glass, and it's still, it stay there quiet. So that's, for them, the water represents that quietness, okay? That stillness. On the contrary, if you see the fire, in the fire you see the energy, very superficial, very strong, a lot of movement, okay? So it's the opposite, okay? So the water could be the stillness energy, or the energy that goes towards stillness, to be quiet, okay? And the fire is more movement, it's more superficial. What is interesting is, even though the water is it represents the quietness, it has the maximum of potential. And actually, our science, they have shown how in the water you have the information of the whole planet. Like all the information is in the water. When they saw the wood, the metal, and the earth, they also saw the way how the energy moves on those elements. Like, for example, the metal are inside the earth. So it's like a movement of, can I say internalization? Like, yeah. So in the earth, they talk about distribution. They could see that in earth is where all the elements are. So in the earth, you find the water, you find the metal, is where the wood grows, and even where the fire happens. So the earth is more the distribution. What is important here is to see that they were talking is about something that they were observing. They were observing the way how the energy flows, how the energy moves in those different elements. And they took those 5 because they thought that in those 5 were all the representation of the energy in our planet. Now, how do we connect this to our body? Like they have like a principle that they say that like all what you see outside is the same inside. Like what you find outside, you find it also inside. So they start observing how the energy, this is through thousands of years of experience and observation, how the energy move in our body, okay? And again, when I talk about energy, I talk to something as simple of when I eat, the food that I eat transforms in energy. When I breathe, okay, the oxygen that I breathe transforms in energy. My feelings are energy. If you get scared, you get cold and all your body react in one way, okay? And you get paralyzed. So that's one energy, okay? But if you get anger, it's the contrary. You get warm and you activate yourself. So all that is energy, okay? So they discover that every element was, or the way how the energy moved in each element was connected with one organ or two organs actually, okay? And emotions and some part of our body. For example, if this is the water, in the water, the energy of the water is connected with the channel of the kidney and the bladder, and as an emotion with the fear, but also has to be with our bones, okay? So when they observe that, for example, somebody that has been in a state, like with fear for a long period of time, sometimes and it's amazing because how it is connected, how your bones starting being affected. So to simplify, if I have the water, in the water I have the kidney and the bladder. And each one of those is a channel. So in the water, I will have the channel of the kidney, the channel of the bladder. And as an emotion, I will have the fear. And as one part of our body, I will have the bones, okay? In the wood, I have the liver and the gallbladder as an organs. So each of them represents two channels, the channel of the liver, the channel of the gallbladder. The emotion is the anger, is connected with the anger, okay? And in our body, with our muscles and tendons. The fire is connected with the heart and the large and the small intestine, and is connected also with the sadness. And I'll explain after this something about sadness, but it's the sadness of the present, like something that happened in this moment. If you lose somebody or you break or you lose your work or something that makes you sad right now, okay, in the present time. And it has to be also, I say, well, the small intestine and the heart, and I said the emotion, and the circulatory system. And we have the earth. In the earth, we have the stomach and the spleen. The pancreas and the spleen, they work together for the traditional Chinese medicine, okay? So those are two other channels. And as an emotion, have to be with the overthinking. And then finally, in the middle, we have the lungs and the large intestine, and they are attached with the melancholy. The melancholy, the way how they explain melancholy, is like, it's sadness, but it's sadness that have to be with the past. Something that happened 10 years ago, and I still, when I remember, when I start crying or my emotion move, okay? That attachment with something that happened many years ago, that's melancholy. It's another kind of sadness. It's not like the sadness of the heart that is present. So with all this, we can see that when we stimulate one acupoint, depending of the channel that we are stimulating, okay, and the specificity of each acupoint, we are going to be balancing the energy. Or I love the way what Andreas said at the beginning about the frequency, because that's what really happened. Like the energy channels or the acupoint, when we stimulate, what they do is they regulate the energy, okay? If we are going, if in one moment, our immune system, and see why we also work the emotion. I get sad for something, something happened, I get very sad. My immune system depressed, okay? My vibrational level goes down and I get sick. So how this work? This work is more in the energy level, in the vibrational level, okay? Rising our vibrational level so that way we are healthy and good. So now we are going to see some acupoints. After we chose this acupoint, were you going to say something, Andrea?
No, go ahead.
Okay. When we choose these acupoints, I was talking to Andrea once, and I was telling her that there were some acupoints in our back where we could balance all the emotions. And she got very interested in those, and that's why she included. But after, when I realized, well, there are some of them that to reach yourself is a little bit difficult. But I'm going to teach you or to show you the one that is very easy to reach, because the idea is to use the different oils, okay? And then, well, the ones that are a little bit difficult in our back, we'll have to find a way to stimulate them. So, Andrea, are you?
So we were just talking about this first emotion is fear, and obviously you understand what fear is. And Ephraim, I am correct that this is fear that is in the present. It's not something associated with the past. You're experiencing this now. And so some suggested oils that would be great to use in conjunction with the massage techniques on this acupoint would be Valor, Release, Gathering, White Angelica, Frankincense, or Peace and Calming, because all of these will help to calm and balance this feeling of fear and to also release and let it go. So depending on which oil you're using, Valor is known for its ability to help you feel courageous. Release is known to help you let things go. Frankincense and Peace and Calming are very calming. White Angelica is wonderful for letting go of those negative emotions that we can feel. So go ahead, Ephraim.
Okay, let me show you something in here. In here you see I show you, let me see if you can see it maybe this way better, that it gets closer. All these are the channel of the bladder. The external line that you find here is where we balance all the emotions. So in this area, we balance melancholy. In this area, we balance sadness. In this area, we balance anger. In this area, overthinking. And in this area, fear. So the one that we're talking, see, these are the ones who are in this area are the ones that are difficult for us to reach, okay? The ones who are in this area. But, for example, the one that we are seeing here, we can use any of those oils, and the way to find this acupoint is you touch your last rib, and you go this way, and in this line, you'll find the point. So you just have to find your last rib, go this way, and apply the oil in this area. And then you will be applying the oil that is for fear, that is good for fear, or harmonize, okay, in that acupoint. Okay, that's one way of reaching that one. That's an easy one. So let's see then. Do you have something else to say, Andrea? No? Okay, this
The next
one.
emotion we're going to discuss is anger, and Ephraim will definitely talk more about that, but some oils that we had talked about that are really great to use in association with the acupoint would be Juvaflex, which was actually a free oil that we recently got with Young Living. So if you got that as a free oil and you don't know how to use it, this is a great way to be able to use that oil that you got for free. Raven and RC, we're going to talk about why those upper respiratory oils upper respiratory supporting oils are great to be using in conjunction with this acupoint. White Angelica or Release.
Okay, that one is maybe for some person, they can reach that acupoint, but you take as a reference the shoulder blade. At the end of the shoulder blade, so would be in this area, okay? Sometimes, very often, it goes in the same place where women, when they attach their bra, there is more or less this area, okay? That's the area where we can apply that oil for anger, okay? Uh, Maybe that's one way. Another way is that someone do it for you. You have here the image where you can see, more or less, you can see the shoulder blade, okay? And at the end of the shoulder blade is that acupoint, okay?
And Efrain, we had talked as well, and we're going to bounce off of each other in the rest of this webinar, y'all. So just bear with us as we talk back and forth. But we had talked about JuvaFlex, for instance, being fantastic to apply over the liver. So if you can't reach that point in your back, being able to apply that oil over the liver. Do you want to talk about, Efrain, why applying over the liver can be so helpful, and why the upper respiratory supporting oils are great to use for this as well, the connection with those?
But are you talking about, I didn't get very clear so what's the question?
I'm sorry. So using JuvaFlex on your liver, when you are trying to support your body in handling the emotion of anger, why is it a great place to apply the oil for the liver? What's the connection with the liver?
Oh, in this place? Do you mean in the acupoint that we're seeing right here?
No, I'm sorry to not be clear. So I'm going to just go ahead because you and I had talked about it previously. I'm going to jump in and explain. So our liver is an organ that holds onto anger. And so if you can't reach that point in the back, it's great to apply JuvaFlex over your liver, because that will help you to process that emotion.
Okay. Got you now.
And then you were talking, when we were talking about the 5 elements and the location of the body, with anger being associated with the lungs.
Yeah.
And why then it would be great to use essential oils that are supportive of upper respiratory health, as one of the suggested oils to use on that acupoint.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, there are different ways to use the oils, okay? Like this one, for example, are specific, the one that we are seeing in this chart, are specific for one emotion. But there are some other acupoints where we can also, and we'll see some of them, okay? Where we can balance also our emotion, especially if we don't have how to reach this one. But for this one, it would be nice if you have somebody who can help you, especially for I think that is the next one, that is the one that has to be with sadness, that is in the middle of the shoulder blade, so that you can maybe do it, okay? But especially this one are a little bit difficult. But it's as Andrea said, if you cannot reach it, you can go directly to where the organ is and apply it, okay? Or maybe in other webinars, I can show you some other acupoints where you can also have access, because there are many different ways to have access to the different organs and the emotions, okay? So the next one, the 44, this is the one that have to be with the sadness of the present, have to be with the fire, with our heart, okay? This one is almost in the middle of our shoulder blade, okay? So it's a little bit hard to reach, okay? But even though if you do this, you could reach it and place the oil in this area. So you just get the shoulder blade, more or less the half of it, and do it. If you're going to work with just one emotion, it's easier, because with the oil, you can reach a very extend area.
Mhm.
So even if you are here, okay, and remember that we are talking about energy, like the vibration of the oil is what, and our body, this is something beautiful. Our body is marvelous, okay? Our body really knows what it has to do more than us. So if I reach an oil that is good, for example, for sadness, even if it is close, all that energy, our body will take that energy and bring it wherever it's needed, because that's the way how it works. Our body is perfect, okay? So this acupoint would be the perfect one for sadness.
And you'll notice too that there's some overlapping in some of the oil suggestions. So some of the oils that were suggested for anger are suggested for grief and sadness because of that association with the organs in the body and how that all works together. So you'll see some overlapping here with Raven and RC, and you see White Angelica and Release again. You guys have already seen that listed. Other oils would be Peppermint, Acceptance, and Joy. That would be great ones recommended for this. And Ephraim, one thing that you and I had talked about, explain how long you need to massage into the acupoint.
Okay, the acupoint, if it depends the technique that you use. If you are going to do what we call acupressure, is 2 minutes. For example, there is an acupoint here that we'll see it after. So acupressure is just to press and release. Okay, so we'll do this for 2 minutes in each acupoint. Okay, the same. When we do the points in our back, is more a massage. Okay, so we can do maybe 20, you say rub for 20 times, because there is more heat when you apply your hands, okay? There is more energy. And when you press, 2 minutes, okay, in each acupoint.
Okay, so 2 minutes
2 minutes, yes.
or 20 strokes wherever you are massaging.
Yeah,
Awesome, thank you.
okay. Now let's see the next one. Worry, well, this is one of the one that we can reach easily, because it's the same. I go to my last rib. This is the fear one. And then I go 3 spaces between my vertebrae. Like this is 1, 3. And in this area, but we don't need to be so precise, because we need to be very precise if we are going to put needles. But with the oil, I'm going to, I know that you'll have your hand with oil and you'll take all the area. So it's just to have as a reference the last rib and 3 spaces in intervertebrae, okay? And it's more or less in this area. So that's what is important, to more or less to have the location and it work. That's what is important, okay?
So there's a little bit of give and take with this. Essentially, it's not needing to be so precise because we're not using needles. We're
Yeah.
either using pressure or we're using massage. And so we do have a little bit of leeway in where we apply. So don't get so freaked out by, oh my gosh, it has to be in this exact space. Being near there. Plus the oils themselves are very intuitive. And so Ephraim has already touched on that, but there is some leeway in it. So suggested oils for this that are very calming and alleviating of that emotion of worry and balancing with that would be oils like Tranquil, Stress Away, Valor, Bergamot, Frankincense. And when I say Epic Calm Blend, that's down at the end of the screen, and you'll have that recipe when you get this presentation tomorrow. So it's just a combination of those oils in a 10 milliliter roller bottle that you then fill with a carrier oil of your choice. So those are all good options. Go ahead,
Okay. There is one thing that I haven't mentioned, that is something that is important. You have my spine here, and those acupoints are 4 fingers from my spine. Like if I see it here, okay, and this is the spine, my spine, you have to place 4 fingers, of course, like my spine, okay, and in that will reach this line, the external line of the channel of the bladder. So for example, I think that is the one that we are going to see next. Yeah, this one, that is the 42. This is another one that we can reach, okay? So I locate my spine, I place my hand, my pinky is touching the external part of the spine here.
Ephraim, can you move a little closer to your, there you go. Yep, we were missing it. Go ahead.
Okay, see my spine? I place my hand, the pinky goes close to my spine. So the acupoint would be in this area where the 4-finger is, in here. So you will apply the oil in this area, not close to your spine. Even though if you apply it in the whole area, this work amazing. Why? Because each acupoint that works one emotion, it also support, like the one that is right beside, like in here you see V42 that works melancholy. Melancholy is connected with the metal, and the organ there is the lung. So if you see 13, the acupoint that is right below, that is V13, that's called transport to offer to the lungs. So you will be nurturing the lungs and balancing their emotion, like melancholy. And it happened the same with each one. You have 44, that is sadness, and besides 44, you have the heart, transport to offer to the heart. Like you are bringing energy to the heart. And it happened the same with each of those acupoints. So in this one now, Andrea will tell you the oils that are excellent for that.
So it makes total sense then that we have Raven listed first, because that's associated with the acupoint right next to it that's associated with the lungs. Lemon, frankincense, and release are 3 other ones that would be fantastic to use as well. Very uplifting and calming as well.
Okay. When I saw this, I want to share something that sometimes we do here in our home. Like, for example, when my wife is too stressed or the emotional move, you can use for the relaxation oil, for example, okay? And use the whole, like if the person is lying down, you can just place oil in all the acupoints and you stimulate all of them at the same time. I have done it, well, we do it many times with this one, relaxation, and it works perfect, perfect in those acupoints.
So what he just showed, for those of you who might not be familiar with that, that's Young Living has a variety of massage oils. So V6 oil is an oil that they have, but they have Sensation and Dragon Time and others. But what he showed you was relaxation massage oil. So that's what that was, relaxation massage oil.
Okay, so this is one way to balance our emotion. So now we are going to see another one.
Okay, so whoops, hang on. We're going back up.
Yep.
So when we worked on putting together this webinar, what we wanted to do is to be able to empower the greatest number of people to use the oils that they had on hand. So most people begin their oil journey with a premium starter kit. They may or may not have oils outside of the premium starter kit. And as we are talking this through and empowering you to derive the greatest benefits out of using your oils, we wanted to start where most people begin. So we are going to focus the rest of our time on taking the premium starter kit oils and applying them using these principles of acupoints. All right. So we'll talk about lavender first and some uses for lavender. Lavender is known as the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And so it has a number of different uses, but some of the favorites include that it's very calming. It's wonderful to use to promote restful sleep. It's great for upper respiratory support, particularly for seasonal support. And it's wonderful for supporting healthy skin.
Okay, this acupoint is one of the acupoints that we use it a lot, okay, to calm down. It really works in all the emotions, especially moment like this when the people is very anxious and people get very worried or all the emotions mixed. To apply any of these oils in these acupoints are excellent to slow down. This acupoint, it belongs, you are seeing it there, it belongs to the channel of the heart. So it's connected with the heart. So it calm down, okay, and balance. The way how we stimulate it, see, you find this line and the pinky where they cross. You just place your thumb with the oil, of course, and then you either press and release, or you can do also a little massage towards the palm, okay? What is important here? Well, you won't miss it, okay? The line, you have the image there, at the pinky where they cross, and just massage that area with your thumb, okay? And the same, 2 minutes in one side, and then you go to the other hand and do 2 minutes in the other hand. That's the way how we stimulate them.
So I would say this is a great time to use your notes, to be able to put in your notes that you are, when you massage, the direction goes up towards your palm, okay? Yep. And that you do it for 2 minutes and both sides. So both. Right hand, left hand. So both sides are being done. So definitely mark that down on your notes. When we first started talking about this, I was literally, I tell my kids all the time, don't write on yourself. I was taking a pen and I was writing arrows up so I would know what to do when I was starting this, because I didn't have a note sheet. So use your note sheet and it will definitely help you to remember, because it's a lot to kind of process all at once. All right, we ready to move on?
Okay.
Excellent. So we are going to talk about lemon. Now you see that this says lemon vitality. Trying to fit everything on the screen, I used narrow graphics for the oils. So we're using a topical application for this oil. So you see the yellow labeled lemon bottle down there that's labeled for topical use. Some great uses for lemon include mental accuracy and brain function. It supports natural detox, and it also helps to support a healthy lymphatic system. So, Ephraim?
Okay, this acupoint is more specifically for brain function, and well, it's not that that acupoint, actually, the name of that acupoint is the internal door to the brain, or inner door to the brain. And the way to, let me show you first how to find it. You locate the top of your ear and you go straight, and it's right there. Or you can come down, and when you reach, there is a protuberance there, okay? Right on top of the protuberance, you'll find, you can feel there like a little hole, okay? That's the acupoint, okay? So you can go right straight, and when you reach the protuberance, if you touch, you feel that there is like a little hole there. So that's the place where you will apply that oil, and it's amazing. Like, that acupoint is excellent to support our brain. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to move on to the next oil. Frankincense. Now, I always tell people when I'm doing a basic class that there's a reason why frankincense was given to our Savior at his birth. It is an amazing oil that has a number of uses. If you are not familiar with frankincense, I would definitely encourage that you do some research on this oil because it's wonderful for a number of things. One includes for brain health. Another is that it's very calming. It is supportive of the immune system. And it's wonderful for healthy skin. So if you want to kind of maintain your youthful appearance, it's a great one to add into your daily skin routine.
Okay, and here we have two different images. The one that is close to the hand, let me show you first how you will locate that. You bend your wrist, place 3 fingers, and where the third finger is, there is the acumen. Okay, so 3 fingers bending, 3 fingers where the third finger is. But the way to stimulate this acupoint, then you place your hand towards your chest, because that way the bones are parallel, okay? And we are going to massage between the 2 bones, okay? So you just will keep where the acupoint is, and then you will massage between the 2 bones, okay?
And just a reminder that we do that for 2 minutes on each side.
Exactly, exactly. This one is amazing to stimulate the immune system, to support the immune system. So this is this is another acupoint that we use almost with everybody, okay? It's excellent. The other one, the one that you see that is in the knee, I'll show you right now where to find it. That one is, that acupoint is good for everything. That is, it's the acupoint that we use the most in traditional Chinese medicine. That is good for the skin. It belongs to the stomach channel, so balance the stomach. Is good for the skin. It supports the immune system. It's good. They say that the secret of longevity for the Oriental people is that acupoint. So for strength, the people who practice sports, they stimulate also that acupoint to get stronger. And the way you might see it there, I can show it here. Let me show you my knee. You see my kneecap. You place 4 fingers. What is important is this is the bone. Can you see it well from there?
Yes.
The bone in the external part of the bone. That's the place. But just locate the bone and do it in the outside part of the bone. Okay, this is my bone, and it's this area. 4 fingers below the kneecap. But you can use the whole area here. Okay, so that's that one.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Whoop, we both did it, sorry. Okay, Panaway is the next one that we are going to talk about. If you are someone who has a premium starter kit, you know the benefits of Panaway. It is wonderful for those occasional aches and pains that any one of us can get following exercise, working in the garden, any of those kinds of things. And so it's great for that purpose. And where is a good place to apply that?
That acupoint is one of the master points. That is the master point for muscles and tendons. So when you apply Panaway there, it's regulating, it will be regulating muscles and tendons. What that means is if there is tension, it will release the tension. If it is lack of tension, it will build. Like it regulates, it brings to the balance point, to the middle point. The way of locating that, in that image, you don't see it very well. Let me show you. It's here in this chair. If you move your hand in the side, you will find, you will feel the head of the fibula, of this bone that we have here. So right below the head of the fibula, there is like a little hole there. But as I said, as we are going to use the oils, just go in this part, feel the bone, and just use it in this area. And you will be stimulating the acupoint, okay? Head of the fibula, below the head of the fibula is the exact point, but you can do it, okay, in all the area. So that's that.
Okay, so while he's getting,
Pardon?
no, I was going to say, while you're getting settled, I was going to go to the next slide.
Yeah. Okay. You move it, you move it.
Okay, I'll move it. Citrus Fresh, you see, is another one that is shown as a vitality oil because that's what it comes as in the premium starter kit. But for applying topically, we're talking about the essential oil bottle with the orange background. Citrus Fresh is known to be very uplifting. I always tell people that it's like sunshine in a bottle. And so it is fantastic for that emotional balance and kind of just brightening your day.
Okay, this acupoint is used special, well, have all the acupoints, I'm telling you just one of the application, but because all of them have many applications. But that one to release the emotions, okay? For example, somebody that is in a deep sorrow or a deep, and want to release that emotion or let it go, that place, that acupoint is excellent for that. So that's why citrus, that is for emotional balance, works amazing for any emotion. Uh, what they show in traditional Chinese medicine, all the channels that where the energy of the emotions flows meet in this point. So in here you can work all the emotions. And it's so real that when you feel anger, you start breathing here, like here. You feel sad and it's like even you put your hand, it's like all the emotions you can feel it here. So that's an excellent place to use that oil.
Wonderful. Peppermint is another oil. Each of these have a number of uses, as we mentioned, and some of the favorites for peppermint include that it is wonderful for digestive support. It's great to include in your upper respiratory support ways of using your oils. And it's also very energizing. And so that's why we have a couple of different points on this slide, because they are associated with different uses that peppermint is known for. And again, you see the vitality as well as the topical application bottle on there.
Yeah, the JM12, how to locate it, is the middle point between belly button and sternum. So it's in this area. But again, usually when I use those oils, I just place enough. And I just do a gentle massage, a circular massage. And something that is important when we do this massage in this area is to do it towards your left, towards your left, the left of your body. Okay, do it this way. Okay, so just a gentle massage going around towards your left. And that's the way how we stimulate that acupoint. That acupoint, it balances all the stomach. And it's interesting because in this area, when we stimulate, it balances like the structure of the stomach, the energy of the structure, and the function too. So it's amazing how it works. And it also works in all our intestines. So it's amazing for the digestive support. And the one that we just saw, the one that is below the knee, that's also good for the upper respiratory, especially when there is a lot of phlegm, things like that. It balances. It's amazing how it gives energy to all the upper respiratory system. And energizing, of course. I told you already that was excellent for energy.
There we
So
go.
if you use peppermint in that one, the people who does, the runners, the one who love to do hiking or things like that, should have always peppermint. When they get tired, they put a little bit there and it's like a turbo.
So we do talk about using peppermint prior to exercise to kind of perk you up and get you set to go and make the most out of your workout. So applying it to that ST36 acupoint is a great way to derive the greatest benefits when you are trying to use it for that energizing aspect. So wonderful. Stress away. I just always say stress away is its name. Stress away. It's very calming. So Ephraim?
Yeah, that's the same one that we saw in the first moment. And of course, if it is balanced, this acupoint is for balance. All the emotions, like stress away, goes perfect for that. Okay.
So some of these, if we have already talked about the acupoint, we're going to move pretty quickly through.
Okay.
Raven is one of my favorite oils for upper respiratory support. My lungs love this oil for supporting easy breathing.
That acupoint is the one that we use to support the lungs. Okay, it belongs to the channel of the lungs, and it all that acupoint, when you stimulate it, all that energy goes to support your lungs. So that's why it works perfect with Raymond.
Awesome. And so, as people are wanting to be particularly conscious in this time of supporting their lung health, supporting their immune system, these are great things to keep in mind as you're doing that and using the oils that you have on hand.
Yeah, and let me show you how to find it.
Go ahead.
You see, I show you first this one. In the other side of this line, close to the thumb, okay, is where you find the other one, okay? Just place, and the same, you stimulated the same that the 7C, okay, you place your thumb and you just do a massage there. 2 minutes in both sides.
Wonderful.
Oh, and there is one here.
Oh, yes.
That I didn't see it because are the
strip.
Okay. This is excellent for to support the immune system, for the upper respiratory, especially for your throat. Okay, move the energy because this channel goes this way and move the energy in this way. Okay, so it's excellent for the upper respiratory, and they say that they work in all the opening of our face. I mean, mouth, nose, eyes, and ears. So that's another one that works perfect with Raven.
Wonderful. Isn't it great that we can even support our throat health? That's fantastic. So we've already talked about peppermint being wonderful for digestive support. Digize is another option that we have for that. So in the same way that we have used peppermint with the acupoint for digestive support, you would use Digize. Did you want to say anything else about that, Ephraim?
It's the same acupoint. So we already talked about the location, and yeah, it's just applied in the same way, like in a circular massage, very gentle. Okay.
Thank you for that reminder about the circular massage. Toward the left, circular.
Towards the left.
Turning
Yeah.
toward the left. Thieves. If you are an oil lover, you know how incredible Thieves is. It is, in my opinion, and that of many others, it is second to none for supporting overall health and wellness with your immune system. So great places to apply that, Ephraim, would be?
Yeah, I say this, we saw already these two, but in this one, for me, that's one of the places where I use teeth in both of these, okay? This is the one, the TR5 is the one that I showed you a few minutes ago. It's the one that we are going to stimulate this way. And the LI4 is just, there is a V here, okay? You just place your finger. You have, it's not in the bone, a little bit down in the soft part here. and you just press and release. Okay, and that's the way how we apply teeth there. The same, 2 minutes in both sides.
Wonderful. Valor, my desert island oil, what we had talked about right at the beginning. Valor is wonderful for supporting the mental, emotional, and physical aspects of your body. It is helpful for supporting clear thinking and the musculoskeletal system health, as well as emotional support.
The V11 is the master point of the bones. Okay, so whenever there is any situation in the bones that we want to support and to give energy to our bones, that's easy. Those one are 2 fingers from the spine. Okay, you go 2 fingers, but you use it just in both sides of your spine. Okay, close to your shoulders, in both sides. You can just use it here. And that's specifically for that acupoint, that is a master point of the bones. So it works excellent there.
And then we had an interesting conversation the other day about here, correct? Can you talk about this?
That's right, correct. This one is in here, is written clear thinking. And I was telling Andrea that clear thinking in this tradition has to be more with the intuition, okay? Because sometimes we are too rational, and men, we are almost completely rational. Women are more intuitive. So the idea of using the oils in these acupoints is to use your intuition. And if you see, intuition is really clear thinking, okay? So that's the connection between, and you can do that by stimulating that acupoint between your eyes.
And then we had talked as well, because most of us, when we talk about applying oils to the center of our foreheads, for the longest time, I was applying it here. Whereas it would be much more effective to apply it a little bit lower between your eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah, if we are going to do it with an acupoint, like there isn't any here. Okay, you have one here and another one here.
But not right in the center of your forehead.
No, not right in the center.
Either up above or in between your eyebrows.
Yes.
So in between the eyebrows is what we're talking about for this. So that was a revelation for me.
Okay.
Last but not least, we are going to talk about peace and calming. It's another oil that is its name. It is very calming. It is wonderful to use at bedtime. And hey, when you have kids who are just being their active selves in normal way, it's calming for them as well.
These two acupoints are very interesting. They are called, well, I know the name in Spanish, but it's something that it levels or balance, okay? One balance when there is too much activity, where the person is like hyperactive in all, like, and needs to slow down. And the other one levels the contrary, like when the people is too down and needs like to have more energy. So let me show you how we work with those. In the one, the V62 is the one that is in the outside.
Oh, we can't see, Ephraim.
You cannot see?
Yep, if you can tilt your camera. There we go.
There you go. Okay, I have my ankle. Underneath, there is the acupoint. Okay, you can apply them. And this one is the one that balances the excessive activity. Okay, like what happened, for example, in here, one of the use is for sleep. What happened when we, after a day of working, going crazy, we try to go to bed and we are like this, okay? Why? Because that energy keeps going, and more in our society that we have light, we have TV, we have so much stimulation, so that it's difficult for us sometimes to connect with the energy of the night. What they show, what they say is that it's different, the energy that moves during the day than the energy that moves during the night. When we are in harmony, okay, with nature, you can see that in people who live in the country, okay? During the day is a time of work, of action, or of movement. The night is to sleep and to relax and to calm down, okay? But in our society, in our cities, that's not what we do. Like we keep going. So we are, we have been getting used to be all the time like movement. So it's difficult for us to slow down. So this acupoint again, you can use it pressing. Imagine that is something where you are lowering the volume. While you use the oil, you will be doing pressing, press and release, like lowering the volume to that hyperactivity. Okay, that's with the one that is the V62, that is in the external part. And in the external part, you support the energy that helps you to calm down. So in this one, you will press and release with that intention, okay? That is to connect with the energy that will help me to fall asleep, to calm down. And that's one of the ways that how we can use it, okay? R6 is more to connect you with the calming energy in a way, okay? And V62 is like the V62 balance the active energy, okay? You can use it either to lower it or to make it higher, like a volume button. And what makes the difference is the intention. And this is something very interesting how it works. And that's what they have been doing a lot of research, because they say that the intention of the person who is doing the stimulation works, because that's the information that you are downloading there. Okay.
So if my intention, just restating what Efrain was just explaining, if my intention is, hey, it's mid-afternoon and I need a little bit of a pick-me-up, I can use the V62 acupoint with peppermint, for instance, and the intention is to give me a little bit of a pick-me-up in the middle of the afternoon. However, if it's evening and my thoughts are going everywhere because I've been working super hard all day and I'm just trying to quiet my inner self to be able to prepare myself to fall asleep, then I can use the V62 with an oil like Peace and Calming to be able to just quiet things. So it's a volume control almost, is what
it regulates. Yeah, it regulates. Both of them are for to regulate.
Awesome. It's fascinating the way our bodies work. Okay, so just to cover this very quickly, if you do not already have a premium starter kit, then you've just learned ways that you can use each of the oils in the premium starter kit in all kinds of ways in everyday life. Very practically, you've learned some really specific places that you can apply those oils to derive the wonderful benefits out of them that they provide. And so if you do not have a premium starter kit already and you would like to get started with that, I really want to encourage you that whoever invited you to this webinar, that you chat with them, because Young Living's Premium Starter Kit, it's the only thing that Young Living offers at 50% off of retail pricing. It's actually more than that. But you get over $400 worth of product for $165, and it gives you a wholesale membership as well. So when you purchase again, you're getting product at 24% off. And we're not just essential oils. We are supplements and body care products and babies and pets and just all kinds of things, personal care, makeup. We have a CBD line as well. And so you have that opportunity with your premium starter kit to have that wholesale membership and get those products at wholesale pricing. And as you do, you're going to want to grow your stash of oils and other products, right? Because I just told you that we're a whole lot more than essential oils. And so the very best way for you to grow what your oil stash or your other Young Living products are is through our monthly box. You know, we call it Essential Rewards. Lots of companies have monthly box programs, and this is ours. The nice thing is that you can completely customize it every single month. You can change your processing date if you need to. For instance, when we can again, if we go on vacation, because right now, obviously we're staying at home, but hey, we're thinking about the future and we're going to be going on vacation again. So we may want to change our date at some point in the future. You do get discounted shipping. You get opportunities to have additional free products each month that are specific to Essential Rewards members who are placing their orders. And you have discounted bundles that you have access to through your Essential Rewards. One is for Ningxia Red, and the other one is for Thieves products, which everyone is absolutely clamoring for right now. And you can get those at additional discounts in a Thieves Essential Rewards kit, or you can be getting Ningxia Red for the best bang for your buck as an Essential Rewards kit. You are never locked in with a contract. And so I always tell people, try it for 3 months and see how that works out for you. And the great thing is that now your premium starter kit can count as your first Essential Rewards order. So definitely have that conversation with the person who invited you to this webinar to get more details and to get their help in getting that premium starter kit and signing up for Essential Rewards. So we are going to stop sharing our screen at this point. We're going to grab any questions that have been asked. Excellent. So I'm going to go through and look at these questions really quickly. But if you have a question, could you please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask those questions, because my guess is those questions aren't going to be directed toward me. They're going to be directed toward Ephraim. So if you have a question, please go ahead and ask. And in the meantime, I can see Stephanie asked, does the oil get just applied to the acupoint, or do you apply pressure or massage any specific amount of time? So I think we answered that one now that we talked about. It's for 2 minutes. We talked about how, yes, while it's a specific point, because we're using essential oils and not needles, there's some room to kind of give in that. It doesn't have to be so precise. And you can use either pressure or massage. And I agree, Marcia said roller tops would make it much easier to reach some of those points. So getting those roller ball bottles that you can grab from Amazon or any number of sources, that would make it a whole lot easier. Or I will say too, your premium starter kit comes with 2 of the Aroma Glide fitments that you could put on a couple of those oils that you have. And Young Living actually sells those in packs of 10 or 12. 10 or 12, one way, I don't remember which one right now, but they are great. 10, thank you, Marcia, in packs of 10. And so you can get those and put those on your oil bottles as well. And you can recycle your bottles too. So when you finish a bottle, rather than going to Amazon and purchasing rollerball bottles, you can use your empty Young Living bottles, put one of those Aroma Glide fitments on top and create your own. And then you can add your carrier oil to it before you put the tip on as well. Liver application on the right side below the rib cage. Yes. So Ephraim, do you want to show where the liver is located just to make sure that people know where that is?
Well, in the right side, in this area.
Okay. Right side just below the rib cage. Elizabeth, can you clarify for us your question? Can you repeat where you were saying to do that to hit the points?
Yeah, it was when you were talking about using the relaxation oil, I missed where you were saying. Did you say a specific spot for that?
Okay, yeah. If you are going to use it like the relaxation one that you're going to go through the whole back, you just take as a reference the center of your spine, okay? And you place 4 fingers where the 4th finger, when you reach, like in this area would be the line, would be this line. That means this, like the acupoint it would be here. Like this is my spine. I place 4 fingers, but as you're going to use your thumbs, you just have to more or less see where the line goes. You just place 4 fingers, leaving the spine in the middle, And then you know, okay, this is the area. And you will apply with your thumb. And actually, what I do, I even touching the spine, because then you reach the one that is for the emotion and the one that support the organ that is connected with that emotion. So you are balancing, giving energy to the organ and to the, when it is for massage, you can use, and that's why the massage in your back are so relaxing and so good, because you are balancing emotion and you are also giving energy to all your organs. So better, even better, of course, if you want to go to a specific emotion, then you can stop in that area, okay, and be a little bit more there. But that's the way, like the back is wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great question. Vida, you had a question. Go ahead and ask. You wait, you'll need to unmute. Hang on, I can unmute you. I got you. No, I can't. You need to unmute yourself. I'm sorry.
Do it.
Oh,
Okay. So I have a couple charts here at home. They're called like a reflex therapy chart for your hands and your feet.
Okay.
And it comes in a book that we get from Young Living too. And
Okay.
how is reflex, like they call it reflex therapy. Is that the same as
No, it's the same family. It's the same family, but it's not the same. No, it's not the same. Those are reflex, like part of our body that are connected with some organs. But the acupoint are specific points that give you access to the energy channels.
Okay.
So it's different.
Thank you.
But both works. Both are good.
Okay. Thank you.
it's a great question, Vida. Thank you. Do we have any other questions? I think I caught everything that was put in the chat. Anyone have any other live questions that you'd like to unmute and ask?
This is Marcia. I'm curious about seasonal affect disorder with an acupressure point. Is there one? I mean, I don't know what category under the emotion, which one it falls under. So I was just curious if there is a point in the body to help with when you have the lack of sun for the seasonal affect disorder, the SAD.
So Ephraim, hold on just a second. We're going to be very careful, Marcia, because we don't want to cross the line into anything that would be considered a diagnosis. So Ephraim, maybe if you could just talk about something that would be uplifting during those time periods, that you might be feeling some of that sadness or some of that melancholy that we were talking about earlier, to just uplift the emotions and be balancing.
Okay, well, if it is, we have to make clear what we want. If it is to uplift, the one that is below the knee, give you energy, vitality, and help you like support all the emotions. Okay, the one that is below the knee. If you want to release, it's this one. Not to release, to balance the emotions. Okay, the one that is close to the pinky and this line.
And that would be releasing sadness, for instance?
No, this one is balance, the emotion.
Balance. Okay.
Release is the one that is in the center of the chest.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 3 acupoints that you can work wherever you want. Okay, if you want to balance the energy of your emotions, you go to this one. If you want to release, you go to this one. Okay, or if you want to give like to overcome and to go, you use the one that is below the knee.
Okay, so just to clarify for notes sake, ST36 for, that was the one, because I know y'all have notes. So ST36 is the one below the knee. The one on the wrist is called, and the one below the knee, sorry, is for uplifting. For releasing, what is this one on the wrist? What is that?
No, that's not for releasing, that's for balance.
Oh, sorry, balance. See, this is why I don't do this. Let the expert talk. Which one is this? What is it labeled?
It's 7C or C7.
C7, okay. And then in the center of the chest, that one was for release?
Yeah, this is the one that is for release. That's JM17.
JM17. Okay, I just wanted to be clear with that, so we made sure that we had that question answered and knew what we were specifically relating it to. Any other questions?
Andrea, you mentioned a book at the beginning, and I think I typed in the title, but there were a few books by that title. So would you?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you in just a second. But that's a great question as well. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for that specific purpose that we were just alluding to. Hang on just a moment. Okay, well, first of all, before that, just wanted to remind you that our next webinar is actually next Thursday, April 30th at 7 p.m. So if you or someone you know needs to either learn for the first time the basics of using essential oils, or maybe you just need a refresher course, because we were talking the other night, some of us, and we were saying there's always something new to learn. And we learn things from each other all the time. And so it's great to do this as a refresher. If you would like to join us for that, that will be again next Thursday, April 30th at 7 p.m. Get with the person who invited you to this webinar and they will get you the information for the 101. Then for Elizabeth, here we go. Here are your resources. And again, you will get this as a PDF tomorrow. So don't worry about, oh my goodness, I need to write all this down. You don't need to, because you're going to get it in a document. So some of the ones that we turn to for more information, particularly from a science aspect, Dr. David Stewart is second to none. He has written a book called The Chemistry of Essential Oils. I put it in quotes, made simple. This book is about that thick. It is a resource book. So me, I like this version, The Chemistry of Essential Oils, made even simpler, because I'll show you big words, big pictures. That makes that science aspect really easy to grasp. I love this book. I read it early on in my essential oil journey, and it really opened up my understanding to know why these oils work the way that they do in my body, and that was really helpful. And then Ephraim recommends this other book here for acupuncture points, and so this is acupuncture points. However, you can use these with acupressure and massage. And so it shows you 400 different points and all of those charts and things in there. It's a great resource to be able to have. So we want to thank you guys so much for spending your time with us this evening. I know that that was a lot of information, and you guys were amazing sticking with us through that and processing it through. Please, again, if you would like to learn more, there's two ways that you can do that. Use your recording and go through this again. And I know I'm going to be listening to it again because I didn't get to take notes tonight. So I want to do that and take my notes and just kind of make sure that I've really processed through that information. But I want to really encourage you guys to get in touch with Ephraim. These are webinars and courses that he does that are hours long, weekend long kind of things. So if you would like to learn more and delve into this topic at an even deeper level, he does this training. And he is, as you've seen tonight, he is so knowledgeable. He's such an expert in all of this. And so I would get in touch with him to be able to get on his list to know when his upcoming webinars are going to be. And please feel free to stay in touch with me as well. So you'll have both of our contact information there. So again, I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We're so grateful for you. Any questions before we end this out?
One thing, Andrea, I just watching my email. Just add USA. Like
Oh, sorry.
Pasto Integration USA. But if you want to contact me, you can also send me a text message, and that would be great. And also in the website, it is the email. Okay, just add USA at the end.
I'll get it fixed before it gets sent out to y'all
Okay,
tomorrow. So
okay,
you'll have the correct information on that. I
okay,
apologize. Thank
Oh,
you.
no, not at all. That's great.
I have a question. May I ask?
Yeah, of course, Dorota, please.
So I'm listening to this and thinking how many people I would have loved to have here join us and hear this. How available is this recording? Can I post it anywhere?
Absolutely. So you'll get the recording tomorrow. And the plan is to keep it available for 48 hours. However, if people are clamoring to have it available longer, I can certainly do that. So you let me know.
Any way you would consider uploading it to your YouTube channel?
Potentially, yes, we can definitely talk about that
Cool.
offline. But in the meantime, I have unlimited recording in Zoom now, so it can stay
Yay.
archived there for as long as we need it, so that it will be there, and we can talk about doing it uploaded to YouTube as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I just wanted to say this was one of the best things I have learned today and maybe this month. So thank you once again.
Well, I want to give a huge thank you to Ephraim for his time and for his investment in us. I am so grateful to him for sharing his depth of knowledge with us. He truly is absolutely an expert in his field, and I'm so grateful that he would share that expertise with us this evening. So Ephraim, many thank yous to you.
Thank you for inviting me. Like for me, this is one of my passions. This is one of my passions. So when you feel passionate for something, to share it with people, that's more. It's a gift. It's something that I really appreciate, and I'm very happy to share with all of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Thank you again for joining us this evening. We are going to sign off. Have a great night. Look for your email tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.